So let's do a quick and simple anatomy lesson on your pelvic floor, because I just want you to get a sense of the size of it and where you're feeling for sensation as you're going for that inhale down and you're trying to touch your pelvic floor with your inhale. Okay, so here's a model of a pelvis. This is the front. This bit here is under your pubic hair, yeah? And these guys right here, just to get you a lay of the land, are what you can feel here at the front, those bits. And then if you follow that and walk it back, you'll be walking along this ridge, okay? From the back, spine, and then this triangle bone at the base of the spine called the sacrum. These are your SI joints. So if you have SI joint issues, it's this joint that is either sort of locked up and not moving is usually what causes the issues, and that's by a pull on one side of the pelvis more than the other from some muscle. Okay, tailbone. And then if you look from the bottom, I've got the front up, back down. Look from the bottom here, these bony bits here are your sits bones. They're what you sit on. Okay, so looking from the bottom, you've got your 3 holes, and you can see the breadth of that muscle, okay? It's kind of diamond shape, and it runs all the way from front to back, side to side. And there's a few different layers to it, okay? So a lot of times when we're coached on doing Kegels or thinking about pelvic floor contractions, the coaching is all about stopping the flow of urine and lifting up and stuff, but often people really get focused on this small area, and it's quite a large area. It's the whole base of your pelvis, okay? Looking at it from the inside, you can see that again, and it wraps up. There's also some pelvic floor muscles that aren't in this model at all that actually come through this hole and then out. So they come out this way and they attach onto the top of your leg bone. Okay, so in many ways the hips and the pelvic floor are super intertwined. And so if there's anything funky going on with the hip, it can really impact your pelvic floor function. Okay, the other area that's part of your hips actually, that's really entwined with the pelvic floor is your butt. Okay, so if you find yourself someone who carries a lot of tension in your butt and are gripping your butt all the time, that is going to cause issues in your pelvic floor. You're probably doing the same with your pelvic floor. And if you are also trying to hold a Kegel all the time, that's going to mess things up. So stop doing that. I know it can feel scary at first, but it's actually, you're going to get better function. We want it to respond when it needs to, not to be gripped all the time, okay? So the thing we're working on this week is starting to feel some expansion into these pelvic floor muscles, okay? So inhale, down, okay? I'm going to give you a bit of a visual. You can imagine that someone's blowing a balloon up inside your pelvis. And these muscles aren't going to move because they're plastic, but yours are, and they will, okay? When you get that inhale down and start releasing some tension in those muscles, okay? I'm just going to get the balloon started and try and do it like this so you can sort of get it. Right, you can see that it's like pushing on the pelvis. And if those muscles moved, they would have expanded out. That's what we're going for when I'm saying inhale down. I want you to think of that feeling in your pelvis.